Hey guys, what's up? I do say pretty much the same thing in the end of the video, but I just want to say thank you all so much for watching and enjoying my content. I've seen an influx of new viewers, and it's honestly surreal. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what's going on. But all I want to say is it is going to be my birthday in 2 days, August 1st, and it's so weird to think that 1,000 subscribers is within reach in 2 days. So please, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like, give it a subscribe. You know, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully helping the community become the best players in the game. So thank you all for watching, thank you all for enjoying, and be awesome people and have a great day. What's up everybody, and welcome back to Project Storm. I am Storm. And here today, I'm going to be doing a Hovercraft and UFO engine tutorial near the end. So, I hope you all enjoy, and let's get into it. Firstly, there's a few things that you need to know when you're trying to make a hovercraft. Usually one of the first is the propulsion and the way you get off the ground. You could use any sort of thruster, you could use a gimbal, you could use large propellers. I don't recommend gimbals, by the way. Or if you're doing something on water, you could even use outward boat engines, but that's more like a different type of hovercraft. Still a hovercraft, but different. And then there's these, which we'll get into later on. So let's start with a basic hovercraft, and I'll break down the two different types of hovercraft. There is the stick to the ground types hovercraft, where you are hovering over terrain. And there's a few kinks that you have to work out with that. You have the problem of not being able to go over rough terrain, not being able to go uphill or downhill reliably, and balance. Balance is a huge problem when you're trying to use a hovercraft and make it work well. And usually people will use auto stabilization with helicopter engines to fix that problem. But for now, I'm going to do my best and try and balance a little 4-engine hovercraft out with suspension. So right now I'm just going to make a basic hovercraft and go over the ways that you can make things hover. And let's just say we put these here, just a basic frame. We have the suspension here to dampen our propulsion, and I'll get to why that is needed soon. We'll have a good amount of propulsion, 2 mini thrusters, that's more than enough for this light craft. And make sure that the mini thrusters are as far down as possible on the suspension to have the maximum effect. Copy this over and make sure it's as balanced as possible if you're going without any stabilization. This is just a basic craft for people to get their bearings on how stuff like this will work so that they can get to work on their own creations. Now our method of choice for hovering is going to be a distance sensor. There are many ways to do this, and the ones that I'm going to show later on in the video are my favorite, like speed sensors, and altitude sensors are fine, but speed sensors and distance sensors on 0 distance inverted trigger, which is a constant output, hope you knew that. We're going to keep it at 1 meter, output scale 1. We're going to have 4 distance sensors for each engine, and this is due to a pretty interesting fact. You can use this type of configuration almost like thrust vectoring. If one engine is closer to the ground, then it will push up faster than all the others, like so. Also, the suspension needs to be on 0 stiffness, 0 dampening. You'll see why. So, I'm going to demonstrate what this suspension does and how the separate engine type configuration makes this a lot more stable over time. We'll let it gain its bearings, and eventually it will start to level out, and there you go. Nice little hovercraft. You can turn it already with seat controls, but we cannot go forward yet, so I'll add that now. After you do something like this, well, you pretty much have a basic hovercraft that can, well, hover. Wait. Make sure to take off the configuration for the engines that are actually making you hover, and then you'll be fine. Now we have a basic hovercraft. I'm hovering at 1 meter. Now, the best part about these types of engines is that, well, you can configure how far up above the ground you hover. With all the distance sensors, I could set this to 3 meters. And then boom. this thing hovers at 3 meters now. And actually, I think we're becoming heavy enough, which is sad, to start getting an upgrade on our engines. So what I will do is I will use dragon jets. So these are pretty good. The only problem is they have a spin up time for their maximum thrust. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds for them to spin up and get their maximum thrust, as you saw there. Oh, right. 1 second. I made a severe mistake. So what we need to do, since we have more thrust, is we keep this at 2 meters. And actually, a thing that can help with this thrust that is making us go further up and actually bouncing us, we could double down on the suspension. Then that'll allow more dampening, and then we got a nice little better hovercraft. This one looks kind of alien, actually. I like the way that looks. Oh yeah, make sure you unconfigure the dragon jets. And I will say, it is possible to off-road with this type of configuration in a hovercraft, but I would definitely suggest wheels rather than jets of, engines. I much rather wheels for off-roading. Alright, a little bit of instability here, but as you can see, it hovers and it gets the job done. We can turn, we can do whatever we need to, and that's basically the terrain hovercraft. Pretty balanced, I must say. And of course it works when you're not in it because it is controlled by logic. Next up, we got my favorite type of hovercraft. Well, the Omnidirectional Hover Anywhere type hovercraft. Okay, this is going to be a little bit harder to build, so I'll try and cut this out or cut around to show you my build thought process. What we're going to do, we're going to put this here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Put this on the other side. So we're going to put a speed sensor right here. Boom. And that will be at 0 kilometers per hour. Connect these to all of those. And then, once we have this, we can get more thrust and make sure you balance it out. If you don't balance it out, then it won't work as desired. So you guys are going to get to see something pretty interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to give it some auto stabilization. What you want to do, take angle sensors, put them like so, easy enough. Make sure they're facing different ways, and don't change the direction in here. You can just rotate them. Rotate this one too. Make sure they're not facing the same way. If these two are facing this way, then it won't work as well. Actually, it just won't work at all. Make the width 179.8, and then take a chance and flip the outputs. If it doesn't work the first time, you'll definitely know which one next time. Alright, take a helicopter engine. Alright, we take this helicopter engine and we connect it up. Actually, just go straight into the next set. This is our pitch stabilization. What we just did. Do the same for roll. Just follow along. May be hard to see. 179.8 width. And then you connect one to 0 output. Take a chance, it doesn't matter which one. Find out soon enough. Okay. Take this, and then connect it all up. I know it looks nasty, but it had to be done. Didn't have much space to work with. Keep it at 5 speed, and let's see. And I think our roll is not working. Okay, so let's see what's going on. This is correct. This is correct. Oh, it's not connected. Of course. Okay, and our roll is flipped. So the way you'll know if your roll is flipped on the outputs is if it turns upside down and stabilizes there. So what you want to do is take the negative output, make it positive, take the positive output, make it negative. Alright, now we're fully stabilized, and then you can hover anywhere. This type of hovercraft is definitely my favorite. We don't have forward and backward, but it's pretty much omnidirectional. Anyways, if you want to go down, it's a little bit of a harder thing to do. You'll have to connect the logic like so. take an OR gate, connect it to every single thruster, set it to negative output, set your button, and then you should be good to go. The problem with this is you have to activate it when the thrusters are running. I know someone probably has a way better method to do this, but I have not figured it out yet. Since you're going from a negative output and not making it zero output, what it will do is if the thruster is going, if the thruster is thrusting, the negative output would be no thrust. But if the thruster has no thrust, then the negative output would be thrust. So it's a little bit of a hard thing to get a hold of. But yeah, that's the omnidirectional hovercraft. A little bit more complicated, but that's pretty much it. And now, we get to different ways to hover. Now, one of my favorite, and I think one of the coolest looking ways to hover, is definitely what I'm about to show you now. Go into propulsion, take Hoverpads, right? Okay, now I know what you guys may be thinking. You're gonna think, oh, he's just gonna do this, right? Yeah, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. Take another one. You know what? We're not even gonna get there yet. Take a 2x4, put it underneath the hoverpad, take another 2x4, place it underneath the other hoverpad. What do you think is going to happen? Well, you're about to find out. Wait. It has to get off the ground first. Oopsie daisy. Get it off the ground, and then there you go. Now, as you can see, I ain't touching nothing. I'm constantly going up. This is practically the interaction of a UFO engine. The coolest part about these engines is that they conserve momentum on a flat plane. So, if you curve down, it'll conserve your momentum, but it'll act almost like if you're gliding, like a paper airplane. But if you get attached to the ground, it will attach you just like if you were hovering with a hoverpad, or it will do that. This is honestly a very stylish way to hover, and people that use this method, I know all love it. There are many ways to gain better control over this, like using this method, where you take these two hoverpads, place them underneath each other, so that you have that like momentum transfer type interaction. But if you want to hover, you set these to, let's say, space. And if you want to go down, then you set this to control. And then you have interactions or configurations for your little hoverpads. And then it makes the coolest sound imaginable, which is this. This is one of my favorite sounds in the game, I will say. Yeah, get an earful of that. So, that's a basic UFO engine hovercraft, but now I'm going to show you the real deal. I've gotten a lot of comments saying, hey, you should make a UFO engine tutorial, and I want to deliver that. So, I will give the most basic form of UFO engine first, and then I'll give more interesting designs. So, we start with UFO engine, or a hoverpad, facing up, with the jet facing up. So when this turns on, sorry, I have to put a freaking seat on it. When this turns on, the jet will be facing upward, right? That's good. That's what you want. Now, place 2 grid blocks with the little frame, and then place another grid block for another frame piece. What you want to do next is take 2 steering hinges, and then just place them like so. And it doesn't matter which way they are facing, just make sure that you have them vertical. So, now, place a block. This is the most basic form of the UFO engine. Let me turn off forces. This is the most basic form of UFO engine, the easiest one to make. The configuration of these steering hinges does matter, What you want to do is you're going to make this block go up. So set the red or the blue, whichever one is for you, to W and S. And then set the angle to 6. That's 5, 6, 5. 6. The angle 6 has the most acceleration and keeps the fastest speed. So, yeah, that's good. Alright. Now I'm gonna press W, and this is only one of these engines. Just know that this engine is what? 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15? 15 complexity. Alright, I'm gonna press W now. And there I go. Alright, so pretty much zero, like, it goes fast. That's one engine. Now let's verse that on, and also it has backwards thrust, and I'm flying, of course. Let's verse that on a regular Dragon Jet. You know what? How about 2? 2 Dragon Jets. Let's see how fast that goes. 2 Dragon Jets in a seat. You'll get about 3 to 4 Dragon Jets with 1 UFO engine, and I'd say that's pretty good. And also, well, no reverse thrust. Alright, let's pull this back out. Let me explain what the heck's going on. What you're doing, right, is the UFO, like the little hoverpad jet, that little jet that makes you hover, that is an actual force that is being displayed. It does not only interact with terrain, it also interacts with blocks. So what you're doing is you're basically making a vector for that jet. Right now, when it's idling, the jet is facing a flat surface. What you're doing is angling that surface so that the jet bounces off that surface and propels you forward. It's pretty much a perpetual motion machine. And that's why UFO engines are really cool. I honestly have my own preferences in engines, and this is not one of them, but it does get the job done. And as I said, this is the most basic form of UFO engine. There are many designs and many powerful ones. And just know, I probably should do this now. These stack. They do indeed stack. So, if you've ever been on Race Island and seen someone go super fast, well, this is probably what they're using. And that's how fast the deceleration is, by the way. If you hold S, 1, 2, 2 second. 2 second deceleration from 500 miles per hour. Let's double it and go Mach. Why not? Boom. 3, 2. I'm capping out. Weird. 2, 1. Come on. Okay. For this engine, you will cap out at around 600 miles per hour. So I would say use as little as you can to get to 500. That would be, what, 3? So for this design, 4 of these engines will get you to the max speed that you can go with the UFO engine. Oh, well, with this iteration. I'm telling you. There are many more designs that get you much faster. So do your research, do your tests, and I want to see what you come up with. I will say, this engine has its kinks that it needs to work out, and that's why I'm giving it to most of the community. And I just want to thank all of the subscribers that have been subscribing recently. I don't know what's going on, honestly. I'm just gonna level out. This has been surreal. Me with my YouTube channel and all the new following that I've gotten. It's just so incredible. My birthday is in 2 days, and this is it's surreal. It's surreal. So thank you all for enjoying my content. Thank you all for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps me to push out new content. And just tell me what you want to see next. I hope I keep making fun and enjoyable content for you all, because this is something that I don't want to lose. Thank you all for watching. We're all Trailmakers, so keep on creating. Peace.